without a shadow of a doubt that you're created on purpose for a purpose. Mindset and money revolution. You have to have a mindset revolution to experience a money revolution. That's when you experience a true wealth revolution.
My name is Chad Free. Welcome to the Wealth Revolution podcast.
Welcome back to the Wealth Revolution podcast. My name is Chad Free, and I believe that true wealth is an abundance of everything that you value. And man, does that mean a lot here lately. This is probably going to be a different podcast than what you normally hear out of me and you know what I talk about. And I think there's a reason for that. And I think this podcast is going to explain the reason that we're talking about what we're talking about. A lot of times when I talk to folks, I really start with my belief statement. And I believe that everybody is created on purpose for a purpose. And most of the time, their mindset and money are two of the biggest things that prevent people from ever even thinking about or contemplating or even pursuing that purpose. And so I want to talk to you about that today because I believe if we are created on purpose for a purpose, purpose is not necessarily a destination, it's a direction. And if it's a direction and we're constantly moving towards something, that means that we're taking action. That means that we're in pursuit to find who God really created us to be. And, you know, in my book, I talk about our purpose really is to pursue our purpose because it's to point people to Jesus. And it's to become more Christ-like each and every day in our life. And so that's really what I want to talk about. That's where this kind of came from. If you know about the devastation that has taken place here recently with Hurricane Helene, it's really took a toll on a lot of places. And I'll go ahead and start out by saying that, you know, we had a mess here. We had a mess to clean up, but thankfully there was no real damage. There was no real damage to my property. You can go, you know, just a couple of minutes up the road either way, and you know the biggest trees that are around are down. A lot of them hit folks' homes. I was out of power for about 5 days. My parents, as of today, I think today is day 10 or 11, they are still out of power. So it's been something that in my lifetime, I've never experienced. And talking to my parents, they say the same thing. They've never witnessed anything like this. So what I want to talk to you today about is, where is your focus? What are you focusing on? You see, there's two things. We can focus on the controllables or we can focus on the uncontrollables. And what I want to do is I want to share with you how I've been focusing on the uncontrollables. And in doing that, what effect it's actually had on me. So the controllables, that means that you take action. When you focus on controllables, you literally take action, and that takes focus, that takes discipline. And in this case that I want to talk about today, that takes truly just being the hands and feet of Jesus, if we want to tie it all together with purpose. You know, uncontrollables are things that usually take us off of who we are created to be. It takes us off the mission. Sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's the economy, it could be the weather, it could be circumstances in our life, things that are beyond our control that we can't control. So if you think of it like a circle, and you got this big circle, right? And in the middle, you've got this little bitty tiny circle. For most people, that little tiny circle is the things that we can control. And because the uncontrollables are so big, we kind of get taken back. We get overwhelmed. We develop anxiety. We become paralyzed. And we literally take our eyes off of the mission. And so I want to talk to you about how that's affected me. You see, I've almost felt guilty about moving forward and doing anything, not knowing how to move forward, not knowing the posture in which I should move forward in. Because I've talked to you about everything that's just 5, 10, 15 minutes away from me, the devastation. But we can go an hour up the road and we can literally see things that most folks have never seen before. They've never experienced before. And it's not just trees down, it's homes lost. It's people who are literally in the mindset of trying to survive each and every day. And I have to feel like sometimes some of these people that we may know about or don't even know about, they're wondering if this is their last day. And so it's hard for me to just move on life normal, back to a normal way of life, knowing that that's right up the road. And understand what I'm telling you. It is true that we must move on. It is true that we must carry on. We shouldn't sit in the setback, like Tim Story says, because when we sit in the setback, sometimes we settle in it, and then we can become cemented in that setback. But I wanted to just tell you that as I was spending time praying, and I spent some time with my team this morning, I kind of was vulnerable and transparent and told them that I'm struggling here. If everything that I talk about is mindset and money and confidence and mental toughness and, let's go, let's not let your past dictate your future or who you are. All of that is true. All of that is a part of my mission. But I think I've gained some sort of empathy that I still have no clue what those people are going through. And the conviction that has come upon me is deep. And what I did is I really kind of became paralyzed to it because I kept focusing on, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to move on. And so those thoughts began to get bigger and bigger and bigger on things that I can't control. It's not right. I just don't know what to do. I'm down here. I mean, I've volunteered, a few times. But what about my business? What about this? What about that? I can't really talk about mindset and money moves and such. And I've got a team member. His name is Alex. He's a young gentleman. He actually lives in California. And sometimes it takes somebody outside the picture really talking a word into your life. I know my coach says sometimes we can't see the picture when we're stuck inside the frame. And you know what? I was really stuck inside my own frame. And I had to reach out for help. I had to be honest. You have to be honest where you are in order to get moving again in a direction that you need to go in. And he literally said, well, listen, Chad, here's the deal. And he said it in a loving and kind way. You're the leader. And you have established a culture, and we have a mission. And this company has a calling, and you're the leader. And we're here to follow you. We're here to collectively support what you feel like our next step needs to be. He said, is it that we bring our mastermind together and encourage them or invite them to take part? I've got a network of folks and relationships across the country. Is it that I invite them to, hey, can you pray? Can you give? Can you volunteer towards what's going on here? And so it hit me. It was just, it hit me like a ton of bricks that I've got to take action, and I can control that because I do have resources that may be in the very same situation that I've been in. I don't know how to help. I wish I could help, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And you'll hear me mention this a few times, but I've actually got a link that you can take part in donating and praying. And you'll see that in the description, and I'll remind you of it toward the end of this podcast. But I've got a circle of people. I got people in my circle, but I'm really asking you to get in my corner on this. And you know what? I want to apologize for people who have gone through stuff like this. And you know what? I'm guilty. I'm guilty of saying, hey, that's bad. That's terrible. If I told you I was going to pray for you, I did pray for you. I make that commitment, but I get right back to life. And it's different when it really hits home. And so if we are truly created on purpose for a purpose, and if we do need to control the controllables, and we do need to take action and be the hands and feet of Jesus, then we must do something. We must take action. And I don't know what that looks like for you. It could be praying. It could be committing to prayer. It could be giving on that link that I mentioned that you'll find in the description. It could be volunteering your services. Luke Bryan, he sings a country song about most people are good. And I've seen that. I have actually seen that in my community. I have seen that with the outpouring of love and support and volunteering that I've witnessed. People are still good. You got some crazies out there, right? But people are good. Humanity is good. But if you get to focusing on the uncontrollables, and that's all you focus on, you will never move forward in your mission or the mission that God has called you to. And I almost allowed that to happen to me. I almost was paralyzed because my mind was just filling up with, I don't know how to move forward. I feel guilty. And so that's not what we're called to do. We're called to take action. So as we wrap up here, I want you to focus on who we're actually helping here. In my belief statement, I talked about people are so focused on surviving that they can't fathom what it's like to thrive. And I'm talking about that as far as a mindset is concerned. But we have people right up the road who are literally surviving in the literal sense. Is today going to be my last day? They're looking at their kids. Are my kids going to make it through this? They have lost everything. And that's why I'm very careful who I partner with, because some organizations you just don't know about. But as I prayed, I really felt led to partner with Samaritan's Purse, because they are literally getting resources to the people in need. And I'm sure there are other organizations that are doing the same, but I actually felt led to partner with them. Caden, he is my videographer, and he just spent time on the ground, boots on the ground with that organization. And he saw firsthand just how hard they're working to get the people who are in need what they need. And so I want to invite you, if I can, if I may, just open your minds and your heart. And as it pertains to this, what are you doing? What can you do? And really, I believe, again, if you believe that you're created on purpose for a purpose, let me remind you that purpose is not the destination. It is literally a direction in being Christ-like and being who God created you to be. And for me and my mission at the moment, it is to be Christ hands and feet. And that looks different with everybody. But again, I've partnered with Samaritan's Purse, and these people need help. And if you're one of those people who have been kind of stagnant and paralyzed, and well, I sure wish I knew how to help, I would invite you, if you can, donate. Donate to that link. It has nothing to do with me. Matter of fact, I mean, I'll come out and tell you like it is. I prayed before I did this podcast here that this would be completely spirit-led. It wouldn't be any of my words, and that God would literally hide me behind the cross and say the words that need to be said to those who need to hear it. And that's all I wanted to do. So again, this is a different episode. This is a different type of podcast. But I do think that you can take a lesson away. What are you focused on? The controllables or the uncontrollables? And as long as you continue to focus on the uncontrollables, that part of your circle, your sphere, will continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it will be overwhelming. But if you take the discipline and the focus and start focusing on the controllables and take action on what you can control, being your best self, being who God created you to be, I think you'll start to see your life will change. Guys, thank you for joining me. And I look forward to just partnering up with you and making an impact and being who we are created to be and being Jesus' hands and feet. Thank you, and God bless you. See ya.